Ubisoft pushed a patch to Steam that removes nudity from the game. Ajay now wears a lion cloth in the arena scene with full frontal nudity, and topless women now wear coverings over their breasts. The game hasn't received a patch since 2023, so there's speculation that this is related to Tencent's recent billion-dollar investment in Ubisoft and China's strict censorship laws. Today, BAFTA has announced Sega's open-world action-adventure title Shenmue 1999 as the most influential video game of all time, receiving the most votes in a public poll. The first entry in the Shenmue franchise was a pioneer for open-world gameplay and laid a roadmap that others continued on in the years that followed. First released on the Dreamcast, the game popularized the use of quick-time events and captured its audience with the use of its cinematic storytelling. With its introduction of dynamic day-night and weather cycles and non-playable characters with seemingly unique routines, it immersed players in a living, reactive world that offered a fully realized open-world experience. Hidetaka Miyazaki says Fromsoftware's focus hasn't shifted to multiplayer despite Elden Ring Night Rain and the Duskbloods. As previously mentioned, this is an online multiplayer title at its core, but this doesn't mean that we as a company have decided to shift to a more multiplayer focused direction with titles going forward. The Nintendo Switch 2 version of Elden Ring was also announced, and we still intend to actively develop single player focused games such as this embrace our traditional style.
You think someone might see us?
Ubisoft Leamington has officially shut down, worked on Outlaws and Skull and Bones. How Ubisoft spent 2.1 million on influencers to secure the launch of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Ubisoft stock just dropped below €9. According to Tom Henderson, Ubisoft is developing a turn-based tactics game set in the Rainbow Six universe. It was said that the new Rainbow Six Siege game is likely 1 or 2 years out. Two sources who have knowledge of the game said that the camera is a top-down view somewhat similar to Diablo 4. Its gameplay loop was said to be similar to Rainbow Six Siege in a lot of ways, where the players would have to select different operators based on their skills to raid buildings, save hostages, etc. The total time of the game was said to be aiming for approximately 25 to 30 hours depending on the player's skill. This guy says, I met the real life Jill Sandwich who winked when I asked will you play Jill again for RE1 remake. While Capcom is no doubt cooking up the next Resident Evil remake in some capacity, it could be several different games. Meanwhile, the current expectation based on previous rumors is that Resident Evil 9 is going to come first. Ruben Langdon, Dante's voice actor, may have accidentally leaked Devil May Cry 6. In an interview posted April 4, 2025, while explaining why DMC reboot was a horrible failure, Ruben slipped up and said Capcom is coming back with Devil May Cry 6 instead of 5. Could have been just a mistake, or that the game was actually on his mind and he worked on it. Sony sends survey asking PlayStation gamers about the Switch 2. The survey asks about interest in the Switch 2, opinions following the Nintendo Direct announcements, and appealing aspects of the console. Potential motivating factors for buying the Switch 2 include exclusive games, community engagement, new features, and hardware upgrades. What could this mean? Is Sony going to release a new PSP 2 soon? A new post from Square Enix on X features a quote from the ending sequence of Final Fantasy IX Remake, "My memories will be part of the sky." The image was accompanied by a caption, "If you know, you know," with a crying emoji. Many players speculate that Square Enix is teasing a Final Fantasy IX Remake announcement with the latest post. A week ago, Final Fantasy IX rumors heated up with the arrival of the 25th anniversary website. Clear Obscure Expedition 33's main story is 30 hours long with side content doubling that time to 60 hours. The game draws inspiration from JRPGs like Persona, offering turn-based combat paired with dodging and parrying mechanics. The RPG will feature unique combat and no minimap, emphasizing exploration. The game is launching on April 24th. South of Midnight, another very highly successful Sweet Baby Inc. game just launched. South of Midnight community manager says white male gamers were a mistake. South of Midnight was race swapped. Early development leaks and insider info pointed to the original protagonist being a white female. That was later changed during narrative revisions reportedly influenced by Sweet Baby Inc. I will be honest, when I saw the trailer I was extremely hyped for a spiritual Bloodborne successor, but after learning it's a multiplayer game I am not excited anymore. Multiplayer only games makes me sad. I always like games that give me the option to play alone or with others. I just wanna say releasing a PvP heavy game on an exclusive new console doesn't sound like that good of a move. Even if the game is a 10 out of 10, I am not paying $500 for the Switch plus $90 for the game. Very unique and original enemies. I see noble god skins and a boss that looks like Cleric Beast. Also the jetpack effect is literally the wind effect from the Stormveil weapon arts, and it looks silly now that I realize that. There is a new gaming exhibition from ACMI, Australian Centre for the Moving Image, called Game Worlds that was announced on April 2nd and will start on September 18th. Near the end, Silksong is mentioned as one of the games that will be at the event. Then it means that the release window is late 2025. New Silksong screenshots from Nintendo of Japan's website. The Joy-Cons of the Nintendo Switch 2 unfortunately have no Hall effect sticks. Stick drift was and is a huge problem, especially at the Nintendo Switch, so huge that Nintendo even offered free repairs beyond the guarantee and has been sued several times. At the Nintendo Switch 2 there were rumors that this problem could be eliminated with Hall effect stick, but that is not the case now. There are no reverb effect analog sticks. Nintendo has responded to multiple complaints made with Switch 2 pricing. Unfortunately, the responses are as bad as they get. Can't afford a Switch 2 ? Just play the OG Switch. Paid tutorial ? It's only $10. $80 games ? The passion we put in justifies the price.